What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is gonna be my 2 cents on the whole Braxton family values me, Iyanla Vanzant fix my life moment, right? So part one was last night. It looks like they agreed to do a 3-day retreat, intervention, whatever, with Iyanla. The family signed up for it. All of the sisters and both parents, which in and itself is a miraculous situation. Again, I think 70% of this was planned. I think there were some factors that might have happened along the way, but I think that it was clear that the show was falling apart, starting with Tamar. When Tamar and Vince's problems started becoming more public, Tamar was less willing to be on the show because, Tamar good for getting in other people's shit, but she don't want nobody in hers. She reminds me of Quad a lot with this whole situation with Quad, but I'm not going to go down that road. I'm going to try to stay focused. So, I think that the powers that be started working some things up when all that went down. But anyway, I've said that in previous videos. I'm not going to rehash that either. Let's talk about what we saw last night, or what I saw last night. So, I'm not going to do a play-by-play. I'm just going to kind of give y'all my overview, my synopsis. First of all, Tamar may have signed up to do this show, to do the Iyanla thing, but she was never fully vested in it from the point that she didn't even want to do the questionnaire. Tawanda had to sit down with her and pretty much guess at what Tamar wanted to say and what Tamar's issues were based on what she thought. And Tamar said point blank, she was like, yeah, oh, so you feel like you got to do it for me because you know I ain't going to do it. She was like, and I ain't. So to me, again, once again, that's like, again, that goes back to when Neffy showed up and hadn't done her work. If you already start the process not fully embracing the process, then we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem, but okay. Mama Evelyn wasn't with it. Now, I think Mama Evelyn had a burr in her ass from when Trina went on Iyanla Fix My Life and Iyanla tried to explore Miss Evelyn's bitterness and some things that went down with that whole situation. And I don't think Miss Evelyn liked it. I don't think she appreciated it. And I think that she got an attitude with Iyanla because of it. Now, she tried to make it seem like she just don't feel like they need therapy, that they've gone to other people and it didn't work. So what makes us think that she's going to be any different and that we just need to pray on it and let God take over? Okay. So she was already, she went into the process with an attitude as well. Tracy went into the process with an attitude because I think she assumed that it was going to be less shit on Tracy time. That she thought that a lot of it was going to be about her decision to continue to still do the show. And so she showed up with an attitude. And I think her father showed up with her, I believe, as her protector, so to speak. Like, I'm not going to let them gang up on her. Couple of things that came out, though. Couple of things that happened. We see, let's start with day one. Iyanla has some non-negotiables. Here's the thing. That's one of the things that you learn, not just in therapy, but in anything. When you're going into a process, a situation, I know when we have meetings at my job, we have non-negotiables. We have things that you have to agree to do, the norms on how we're going to proceed with this meeting. And there's certain things that we say, be present. Don't assume bad intentions. When somebody says something or somebody says something that doesn't agree with your opinion, don't assume it's with any type of ill will or bad intention. It's just a difference of opinion. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in these meetings, and so if the purpose of the meeting is to be open and be transparent, then let's go in with certain norms. And one of the first norms, or the first norm, was stay through to the end of the process. One thing about Iyanla, I don't believe that she didn't do her homework. She know that when the going gets tough, the first thing that, especially Tamar, does is gets up and removes herself from the situation. So one of her non-negotiables was stay till the end, and I need everybody to commit to do it. Everybody committed to do it, including Tamar. He get around to Miss Evelyn, and Miss Evelyn was like, I don't know, I gotta see how I feel. And I don't think anybody expected it to come from her, right? I think people expected that to come from Tamar or maybe even Trina or somebody. But for Mama Evelyn to be like, yeah, I don't know. And she would not relent. Like, to the point where finally Tawanda was like, Mommy, please just say yes. Like, damn. Because, put it like this, what we saw was the edited version. I can't imagine how long this conversation went on. Because it was a long conversation in edited form. So that lets you know right there that it's hard when you show up ready for anticipating the problem. Shout out to Burberry. They must have paid some advertising because Tawanda had on a Burberry dress in the scenes, and Toni had a Burberry dress in her confessional. So shout out to Burberry. They must have thrown a little change. They was asking for a bigger wardrobe budget. So maybe they went out and got a partnership with Burberry. But anyway, moving on. So everybody gets there and everybody's quiet. It's that whole, everybody is nervous and thinking and that kind of thing. Tracy walks in and you could cut you could cut it with a knife. You could cut the tension with a knife the minute Tracy showed up. Something else that was very clear is Tamar's problem with Tracy ain't got shit to do with her showing up for work. Her problem with Tracy goes further back, and she keeps saying that Tracy lied, she lied, she lied. But of course, in true Tamar fashion, don't nobody know what the hell Tamar talking about but Tamar. But again, that goes back to her not filming with Tracy. Remember the time she wouldn't film with Tracy and she drove right past Tracy's ass when she showed up at her movie? Remember that? And the tour situation, which I still believe Tamar got Tracy kicked off that tour. I believe it. I believe it in my spirit that was Tamar. And she could blame it on Vince. Vince can blame it on Toni, whoever. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that was the Tamar thing. Because I think that whether it be perceived or real, she feels like Tracy has betrayed her in some way. So here we go, y'all. And this is why they do need Iyanla, because all of them got some shit. All of them are walking in the door with some shit, right? I think some good work was done day one. It looks like when they showed the scenes of them actually going through some things, and I think some good work was done. I think even Tamar was seeing some things and was open to some things. Tracy talking about some she just numb, but you're not numb. You're not numb. You're angry, you're hurt, you're mad. And there was a reason why you chose to film, whether it be financial, whether it be now's my opportunity to shine. Because here's the thing, all that stuff that they did with Tracy when the rest of the sisters wouldn't film, those little shenanigans and those little excursions that Tracy went on, that's like a different show. So Tracy really sort of had her own show for a minute. It was called Braxton Family Values, but that wasn't nothing Braxton Family Value about it. That was Tracy and friends doing whatever Tracy and friends do. You know what I'm saying? And so, sorry, that's my phone. Oh, that's my best friend. I'm going to have to call her back. So, I feel like Tracy had her reasons for continuing to film. And again, maybe it was just as basic as it was financial. Maybe she just needed the money. I don't know. And I ain't mad at her if it was. As people say, Funky Dineva, I'm sure he, work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a show. You ain't hurting nobody. But again, a lot of people were saying that it was about the communication piece. So I think some good work was done. I absolutely believe some good work was done. I believe that they started on a good foundation, and when they broke for the next day, Miss Evelyn was not feeling it. She was like, because something else that came up that I thought was very interesting, and Tracy said that, Toni said they had a name for it. They called it covered wagon. And basically, what happens here stays here. And when they were going around talking about their values and what they were taught as a child, what values they were taught, one of the things that their mother said was she was upset because the values that they were taught was what happens in the house stays in the house. And she has a problem with the fact that they've let so much of their personal business be out there. But my thing is, when they decided to do a reality show, what did you think was going to happen? Like, reality, you got to give people something. Everything can't just be, us going to the movies and going to the spa and doing, you know what I mean? Like, at some point, some real life is going to come up. Like, and why didn't you think that would be a situation? But that's also part of the problem, because when you ask, because Iyanla called it out. She said, oh, so y'all was taught to lie. Okay. And girl, Evelyn ain't like that. Evelyn didn't like that at all. But that's really what it is. And we do it to children all the time. I mean, we do. What happens in this house stays in this house. Don't you go to school telling nobody what's going on here. Don't you tell the neighbors. Don't you. And with them, it was even a bigger spotlight because of the church situation. And she was like, don't you let the congregation know. Don't you talk about what goes on in this family. This is what happens here stays here. And so as a result, that is what they were taught. They were taught to hide. They were taught to sweep it under the rug. They were taught, you know what I'm saying? Those were the things that they were taught. The other thing they were taught was, when the divorce happened, what they were saying was that they asked Daddy, so what is going to happen to us? Daddy said, I don't know, ask your mother. They asked Mommy, well, what's going to happen with us? I don't know, ask your daddy. And they said, so as a result, they didn't get any answers about what was going to happen next. So life just sort of happened after the divorce. Now, mind you, when the divorce went down, Toni was already off being Toni Braxton. It was early in her career, but she was already out the house. But the rest of the girls still were in Maryland and, whatever, and dealing with the aftermath of all of that, and especially as ugly as their divorce was. Their divorce was a very ugly situation. All right. But I think some good work was done. I think some great foundation was laid. And I think that everybody except for Evelyn was excited about coming back for day 2 and really digging in a little deeper. Day 2 rolls around. They agreed that they were going to come together, cook breakfast, start there, and then move into the therapy. Let me say this. I fully 120% believe what Tamar said. I believe that production created a situation where Tamar would be late. I believe that. I believe that is something that has gone on through the show, with production pulling strings and creating drama. I believe that as well. Here's my issue, though. Because, see, people don't hear. As I'm watching the scene, what I heard was, first of all, Iyanla was going off on production. And when Tamar was agreeing with her, what she was saying to Tamar was, your message gets lost in your antics. So, in other words, yeah, you might have a very valid situation. You might be absolutely correct in this whole situation. The problem is, it gets lost in your neck rolling and mouth popping and attitude and faces that you make and rolling of your eyes. See, you might have a very valid point that production set you up, but you're not owning your part in it. And that's what she was saying when she told her, no, you don't. Your message is getting lost in your antics, which happens a lot with Tamar. Tamar's no dummy. Tamar makes some very valid points a lot of the time. The problem is it gets lost in Tamar being Tamar. And so that's where the episode left off. Was Iyanla said, what you not gonna do? She said, maybe this is something that y'all dealt with in doing this show, when production fucks with y'all and screws up y'all schedule and screws up y'all day. Y'all deal with that. She said, and that's been part of the problem, is that there's been no consequence for it and y'all continue to deal in it. She said, but I won't. And so she took her bag and she left. She said, I'm not doing it. I'll see y'all tomorrow. And if you want to work, we'll work. If you don't, oh well. Because her check don't change. Depending on who show up, her check don't change. So I think that something with Toni, she had an appointment. She said she was on a conference call or whatever. And, this is the same woman that can't seem to get her calendar together to get married. So she certainly ain't going to get her calendar together to talk to Iyanla. You know what I'm saying? But again, Trina said that this is something they've been dealing with for the duration of the show. That they continue to work. Even when Tony doesn't show up, or Tamar is late or doesn't show up. Now, Tamar seems like somebody that's a stickler for time. That's another reason why I believe that production fucked with it. I do. I believe production did that. I do. For whatever reason, they changed the call time, or they told Tamar to come late, or whatever happened. Because when Tamar showed up, she didn't show up with any sort of certain. She didn't show up with any sense of urgency. You know what I'm saying? She didn't. She didn't say, y'all, I'm so sorry, I'm running late. This happened, that happened. Like, she came in, she was talking to the chef and laughing and joking with people. There was no sense of urgency. So I believe her. And y'all know, I don't give Tamar a whole lot. But in this one, I do believe that. But again, you didn't hear what Iyanla said to you. And what Iyanla said was, you lose the high ground with your antics. So, anyway. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I don't know if she's going to be fixing nothing, y'all. I really don't. Because I don't think that... Definitely Tamar. I don't think she's ready to hear it. She's not ready to receive. Tamar's cool as long as you agree with Tamar, or as long as you getting on everybody else. But when it's Tamar's turn to be checked or to be told about herself, she got excuses. It's everybody else but her. Nobody listens to me. Woe is me. I'm just the baby. I'm just, like, when that whole thing went down with her divorce, then it was, well, she's the baby. She don't get it. Tamar is damn near 40 years old. She understood what the fuck she was doing when she was dogging everybody else's husband out, knowing good and damn well that grass wasn't greener on the other side of her house. And then when her shit got out, and when people started talking about her family, her divorce, and her husband, then all of a sudden everything was off limits, and now you all in your feelings. No, you don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to play it both ways. And you were very public and very vocal about everybody else's life. But when it come to be Tamar's turn, then all of a sudden can't nobody say nothing to you, including your mama. Including your mama. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think.